We're at another special place. We're so lucky that we get to do this over and over again.
Can you believe it? We get paid to do this.
Does it ever get old?
Not for me. I mean, I feel like we kind of turned our avocation into our vocation.
I love when you say that. But actually for this one, specifically, you just said something really great. You're like, man, I really need to research Richard Neutra. And I'm like, we've been studying him for years and years, but tell us about why you said that.
My initial reaction to this is that it's not your typical Richard Neutra. It doesn't read international style, especially from this front elevation. This reads like Buff Hensman. It's a post and beam house. 4x posts on an 8-foot module. There's 7 bays, and you've got the 2x decking that we always talk about, the slender fascia. That's Calvin Straub from USC with Buff Hensman on either side. But on the other side, you do read that international style white wall. Neutra's work I think of as being more plainer and international style, where this, clearly he was influenced by the other work going on in Los Angeles in 1949.
Speaking of which, it almost feels like it's probably even more like Craig Ellwood, right? And Craig Ellwood is actually present here.
Yeah, I can't believe Craig Ellwood did the bed and built-ins on the wall of the primary bedroom, which is really fun to think about that collaboration as well.
Yeah.
So they were all in a dialogue, and it was a local, national, and international dialogue that these architects practicing at that time were having. And this owner has been a really great steward. They did a complete restoration. Barbara would argue, actually, it's a rehabilitation, and she was involved. Barbara Lamprecht was a consultant in the renovation, remodel, restoration. But they kept things like the original Formica countertops in the kitchen and bathrooms, and that really establishes that vintage language, and the jalousie windows that you see in the kitchen. And yet they brought it into the new millennium with light fixtures and other elements, the glass cabinet faces in the kitchen. And so it's a really nice marriage of old and new, but that Formica makes it for me, the yellow and the blue Formica.
That's her favorite.
Yep.
And then they painstakingly went over a lot of the wood as well, right? To kind of bring it back to life. The TV, that's actually a pretty cool position for it. How is it described?
It's vintage 1940s, early 50s television that's built into the wall. So it's got this sort of bubble screen, and it's built right into the wall of the living room. And I think that's a really nice touch. And so it's off to the side, so it's not impeding the view, and it's not on top of the fireplace. That's one of my pet peeves, is a big flat screen TV on top of a fireplace on the chimney. You know, I want to look at the fire, or I want to look at the view. And yes, I watch a little television from time to time, but I want it hidden and off to the side. John Sharp did a complete landscape of this relatively steep hillside site, and it just sort of anchors the house onto the site. And so they've taken advantage of this terracing all the way down to a Japanese soaking tub, what we would call a hot tub, but it's clearly like a Japanese style soaking tub, a guest quarters down below. And then there's a big storage space for, to keep all your artwork and whatnot that's not on display. But the landscaping really adds a lot. The timber bamboo and all of the native plants that just really anchor this home to the site.
I love that he was able to compartmentalize these smaller spaces so that you could have intimate gatherings. And then also down below, you could have a much bigger gathering with the projector and watch a movie down there. So there's multiple spaces that can be used in different ways, but they're all outdoors.
And this will be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, because it's priced at $2.8 million. It's, I think, around 1,100 square feet. And it's really only a 1-bedroom. The second bedroom was one of those flexible spaces, like that kind of, here's a curtain, now the living area is a bedroom for overnight guests. But it doesn't feel like a true 2-bedroom. And really, they're not counting that 3rd bedroom guest suite down below. So it feels like an 1,100 square foot, 1-bedroom, 2-bath house at a premium price for the Neutra pedigree and the outstanding restoration.
And I know you and me are similar in this way, in that we love that flexibility in the floor plan, where it could become one bedroom could be divided into another. I mean, I would prefer that, especially if you've got kids or something. As you said, you can grow, expand, and contract in one house the entire way through.
Should we go in?
Yep, let's go in.
Let's check it out.
Let's do it. how's this feel?
I was just saying to the listing agent, can we move in for a week? So we're in front of this fireplace, and this is that sculptural aspect again. So Neutra's got brick sitting on a slender steel column, this really slender horizontal brick, a different module projecting out beyond the face of the chimney element. So you've got, this real vertical thing, then you've got this horizontal thing behind it. Then you have another plane of the hearth that comes out and lines up with this wall. And I just love that sculpture in a functional fireplace element.
Yeah, and of course you're sitting on his built-ins because he's designed all of the built-ins in the house.
Yeah.
And you could see a lot of the way that the wood has been brought back to life. I'm sure at some point it needed some tender loving care, and it looks remarkable now.
Again, kept the vintage jalousie windows and that big slider, the original structure, the slender 4x posts and the beams. You got that Clerestory glass and the knife hinges that you talked about. So there are all these original elements, but then a new grass wall covering and other elements that kind of bring the home into the new millennium very tastefully.
Mm-hmm. And looking this way, you could see the rhythm of the house with the post and beam. What was the dimensions of the increments?
I think it's an 8-foot module. I think there's 7 8-foot bays.
It's got a nice rhythm to it. I always talk about how the structure helps define the activities that happen in the space. And so in this particular way, that dining room is right within that 8-foot module, and then so on and so forth.
And then you've got that language of the silver painted wood, which was a Neutra signature. Mm-hmm. I wanted to mention, sometimes we see these houses, new homes in particular, that are kind of contemporary new homes, and it's an open floor plan, but it's just a big open box and nothing. Where this is an open floor plan, but because of these elements, the spaces are differentiated, and so you can have privacy in that little seating area, or here looking at the fireplace or looking out to the view, and the kitchen's kind of tucked behind this small wall. So it's an open plan, but each of the spaces is differentiated and really creates kind of an intimate feeling while being connected to the outdoors, which was that whole mid-century ethos.
Yeah. And a couple other things to mention. I mean, I love that this is very common in post and beams, is that you use that space where the dimension of the beams is a Clerestory, but then you'll go around and there's a datum point throughout the house. A lot of the houses have this. And then here's that curtain that we were talking about. Is that where the divider may have been at that point? It looks like it would have been. It is.
Yep. That living room den area became the second bedroom as needed. And my understanding is that the vintage folding panels are stored down below if somebody wanted to restore those.
I'm not sure if this was original or not, but they're keeping in theme with the Richard Neutra painting it that aluminum color, which of course is here as well.
I think this is original because now, of course, this wouldn't meet current building codes because you'd fall through this, or this is so low that you might fall over. And so this is the tasteful intervention of the new, where they've added a cantilevered glass rail that almost just disappears behind the original. So they've kept the original. Somebody else might have come in and put in slats that would prevent a 4-inch sphere from going through to meet current code, but that would have destroyed the look to have that kind of a ladder railing where this glass just disappears. So this house is for sale. And this is where we do our least favorite thing, which is to tell you to contact us to write up your offer on this house, because we think it's going to sell quickly.
Yeah, we'll help you guys purchase it. And as you mentioned, it's $2.8 million.
It's about 1,100 square feet, maybe a little more. It's really a 1-bedroom, 2-bath with a flex space and a guest room in the crawl space down below, and then a magnificent site.
Yep. So give us a call.